Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your purchase of your Catalina Legacy Edition 293 QBCK travel trailer. You guys picked a beautiful trailer here. I'm going to walk you around it and show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A couple things to take into consideration when parking. On the campsite, leave plenty of room for that awning. On your off campsite, you'll have your big slide to come out, but I also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your power stores inside your unit, behind your tires on your off campsite or your driver's side of your tow vehicle, and your water connection is going to be right here behind your accessory hitch on the rear of the unit. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive and unhook your hitch, first thing we're going to do is level your unit. Now on a unit this long, I recommend go over on your off campsite, find the center of the unit, put a stick-on level on there. Got them in our store, stick that on there and have someone watch that while you bring this tongue up and down. Power tongue jack on this unit. Simply lift or lower until you're level. Now you do have a night docking light should you arrive at night. And if you lose power underneath this rubber stopper, right there, that hand crank will get this up and down if your power's out. Speaking of power, check your battery post now and then. Make sure those haven't wiggled loose going down the road. Once we've got our unit level, the next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. All four corners of the unit have these stabilizing jacks, 3/4 inch hand crank. You can use a drill gun or an impact driver, run these down in a matter of seconds. I just recommend that you slow down when you get to the bottom, because you only want to run these down just until they're taut. Once you have any type of resistance on your hand crank, give it a half a turn and stop. Remember, our unit's already level. We don't want to change that. We just want to stabilize it. Also going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Those jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris and hot blacktop in the summer. At the campsites, pick up a 4-pack of those with your 10% off coupon. Run all 4 of these down until you're nice and taut. We got our unit level and stable. We can hook up our power and water. There's our rear ones. Again, on your off campsite over here, got your 30 amp cord. Actually stores right inside the unit. Just pull it out of here. Just push it right back up in there when you're done. Now at the end of this 30 amp cord, should you need to plug into a campsite, at a 110, you have this 30 amp to 15 amp reducer that you can put on the end of that so you can plug into a 110. Get your power hooked up. Let's hook up your water. Now on your unit, your water connection is going to be behind your accessory rack. So on each end you got a cotter pin. We're going to remove that. On each end, and bring down our accessory hitch. And we're going to see our city and fresh water connection. At campsites, we're going to hook up to city water connection. First and foremost, your water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in your unit. You don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites, so use this. Put that on there, nice and tight. Hook up your hose. but don't turn your hose on yet, is find your hot water heater. It's gonna be just to the left of your entry doorway. And all we're doing at this point, folks, making sure our drain plug's back in. May have left it out last time you were out camping. Draining your hot water heater. Throw some plumber's tape on there. Tape, not putty. Putty will gum up on you. Get that in there nice and snug. Do that's 1 1/8 inches. Once that's in there nice and tight, you can go ahead and turn that hose on. Now after that hose has been out for a little while, we're going to go ahead and come up into our unit. If we need to open our slides, we will, which we need to get to the bathroom. But we want to come in here and open up all of our water taps. So to our left as we come in the entry doorway is our slide control up here. We're just going to push out on that. Let this slide run out so we can get access to all of our water taps. Now once our slide's out, go ahead and open up your water taps here. Get in the bathroom, open up everything. Once you got all the air out of the lines and a nice steady flow of water, then you can go ahead and shut them off. And you can turn on your hot water heater from indoors. Now there is an on-off switch down here. The only time you ever want to turn this on out here is if you're hooked up to 110. Otherwise, turn it on indoors. If your hot water heater doesn't seem to be working, look out here and see if these are bubbled up. If they are, simply press them back in there, reset. And then here's your pressure release valve. Now let's say we're gonna go camping and we're not gonna use city water. We're gonna go dry camping or boondocking as they like to call it. In that case, we're simply gonna fill up our potable water tank. No need for a water pressure regulator here. Simply use a hose. There's 2 ways to tell when it's full. 1, there's an overflow valve right here. Or 2, on the inside where you check the levels of your freshwater and black and gray tanks. There's also a or on the inside where you check the levels of your battery and black and gray tanks, there's also a freshwater button. Keep an eye on this while you're filling it up. Don't leave it unattended. Once it's full, go ahead and return your cap here. And then whenever you want to utilize this water, you'll turn on your water pump indoors. Don't turn on your water pump and using city water. That's already pressurized. Alright, we're all set up to camp with power and water. I'm going to go ahead and walk you around the rest of the outside of the unit, starting here with your city water, fresh water. And you've got a spray port here for this for that hose. Spray some things off. You can also prep for your Furion backup camera. Device is set on the dash of your tow vehicle, electronically communicating with this device, giving you a backup camera. Coming around the corner here to your kitchen area. Press down on these both sides, that'll pull out your griddle. There's your hose. Hook that up back behind here. And right here is your quick connect LP. Got some low point drains here. There's your freshwater low point. Got a leash link. Black tank flush. We'll talk about that when leaving the campsite and dumping our black tanks. Got a couple outdoor speakers. A vent for your microwave. This is a flue for your furnace. A couple things on this. Make sure it's never blocked. And if you're running your furnace, steer clear of it. It does get hot. Again, your hot water heater. Got a couple of 110s out here and cable if you want to hook up TV outside. There's a manual override for your slide. If you lose power, you can't get that slide in and out with your hand crank. Your Lippert solid steps. Talk about them. Adjustable feet. Simply remove this cotter pin. Move it to the height that you need it to. Get your big pass-through storage. That'll go through all the way to the other side. On the front, your propane does come with a cover and is on a regulator. Simply point it toward the tank you wish to be using. Lefty loosey to open. It'll turn green when you got gas. Power tongue jack. Batteries. And your battery disconnect. This will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide propane detector. Continuing down our off camp side, here's where you plug your cable in for the campsites. Continue down past your slide, and this corner is your sewage connection and your wastewater. There's your low point drain. You have an outdoor shower. Your handle will fit up here. Again, your power. And back around to your accessory hitch. That about covers everything outside. Let's go take a look on the inside. Coming up inside your unit, first thing I like to point out in every unit is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows that the fire extinguisher is located at the entry door in case of an emergency. Coming up immediately to our left up top is going to be our control panel. So up here's where you can check your levels of things. There's your brand new battery. There's your freshwater button. That'll tell when your potable water is full. Black and gray tanks. Again, your slide control. Your awning. On your awning, you only want to run that out until that white flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see your silver bar. These will continue to run themselves out and run themselves up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you're running it out and make sure you don't run it out further than you need to. Next to that is going to be your exterior lighting. You do have a remote for that. We can change your lighting. Interior lighting. Here's where you turn on your water pump when using potable water. And here's where you turn on your water heater. On the rest of the way in. And continue our tour. Straight down now is going to be your 12 volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mention that's 12 volts, always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping, boondocking somewhere, nothing plugged in charging your battery, use that battery disconnect if you're going to be gone all day to keep this from running your battery down. So right as we come in, your TV will hook up here. Just want to mention to you, on your TV, there's a little button right here where your cable goes in. That is a digital channel enhancer. So when you arrive at the campsite, before you run your digital scan for local channels, make sure that green light is on. Over here is going to be your sound system. Dual zone, indoors and out. Let's get our mode 2. You get 2 auxiliaries and FM. Not going to pick up much in this metal building, but there's your music indoors. Shut off indoors, just have it outdoors. Or in this case, static. But lots of presets, AM, FM, Bluetooth. Fireplace. Not just for looks anymore. I can go through and show you all the pretty colors, but the biggest thing, folks, is the heat. If it's chilly in here in the morning or evening, and you're plugged in at a campsite, go ahead and crank this heater up. And instead of wasting your gas, use this to warm it up in here, because it'll get it toasty in here in no time. And it saves you some gas. Sofa, jackknifes down. To a bed, a little bit of storage underneath. Cup holders. Your table will lift up off those legs, remove the legs. Set your table down on this wooden lip here. Put your cushions on top, gives you another sleeping quarters. The individual lighting throughout the unit. Continuing around the living room, your kitchen living room area. Your GE fridge. You do have a safety travel latch. Put that over for travel. Make sure this don't bounce around on you. And this is a battery disconnect. What that will do is disconnect just the battery power to the fridge in case you want to defrost it. That's your only use for that. Or anytime you just want to shut off your fridge. A self-explanatory microwave. Got a light and a fan above your cooktop. This glass top makes an excellent backsplash. You have your 3 burners here. Turn it to high, press it in to light it. Your oven. You turn that on down here. Then you have to set this to the desired temperature. Change your temperatures on here. When your gas is on, that'll work for you. In the living room is also our smoke alarm. You have a hand crank open exhaust vent in here. Your AC unit, which I'll bring you down here to our thermostat in the hallway. Go ahead and turn that AC on. Shut that off. That shuts off rather quickly. Turn our heat on. Shut that off. You'll notice that the heat fan tends to take a few minutes to cycle through on the furnace before it shuts off. Underneath your stove here is going to be your access panel to your breaker box and fuses. A ton of 15s in there, a couple 40s. Highly recommend having some of those with you when you go camping. Come back and into our bathroom. Just want to mention this is where your 110 with GFCI resets at. You also have another hand crank open, exhaust vent in here. And you got plumbing to maintain. Down there's some PEX plumbing. Just keep an eye on it. You are bouncing a house down the road. Make sure nothing's wiggled loose over time. Back into our bunk room. Lots of USB ports. You're set up for a TV on top of this stand here. Cable in 110. These chairs will fold down into beds. Big queen bed here on the bottom with those, and your single bunks. Lighting is here. And lastly, we'll head up into your bedroom. 110 and USBs on both sides here. A lot of individual lighting underneath, and you're prepped for a TV back here as well. Underneath your bed will be a little bit of storage area and your closets. That about covers it for everything on the inside. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. So I like to start by coming and shutting off my interior lights. Then I can see any individual lighting that I need to walk through the unit and turn off. I know I did both bedrooms. Make sure my bathroom's off. Once I've shut off all the individual lighting, come back to my main control panel and turn on my interior lights. Now I'm going to say doors and drawers. Make sure all doors and drawers are secure. Starting with your bedroom door, make sure this is snapped back. Very important to have these entertainment drawers that are in front of the slides snapped all the way in. Your bunk room door, you want to snap that open. And then your bathroom door closed as well. Again, the importance of having these closed so our slide's not going to come in and hit it. Make sure nothing's going to impede your slide from coming in. And we're going to hit slide in. Now as the slide gets all the way in, we'll shut off our interior lights and exit the unit. Now the biggest thing on these steps, folks, is you want to make sure this exterior door is all the way open before you try to close them. Otherwise this could catch on your door. Lift them up. Set inside, turn this right or left, it doesn't matter. It's just going to lock your steps in for you. Before you leave the dump station, make sure you're locked, dead bolted, and this handle is over your door. If we are out dry camping, we're going to come to this low point drain underneath our kitchen and dump our fresh tank. If we're at a campsite, we're going to unhook our power, our water, our cable, and bring up all of our stabilizing jacks. Gonna hook up our hitch and head on up to the dump station. Now at the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump's gonna be behind your tires on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. Once you arrive, you got 10-foot hose, comes with your convenience pack. Hook that up and pull the handle on the left, your sewer outlet connection. Now you can set and listen for this to be empty. Or you can open up your door and check your panel and make sure your black tank is empty. When it is, leave that black handle open, grab the hose at the dump station, again with your water pressure regulator. Hook that up and run this hose for a good 5 minutes. Wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. Again, reminder, make sure your tank flush valve is in open position while running this. After a good 5 minutes, take that hose out of there, shut that off. Make sure that all of that washout drain that you just put into it has emptied. Once that's empty, we'll close our black handle and pull our gray handle. While our gray handle is dumping, we're going to go ahead and dump both those low point drains. When those are done dumping, we're going to come back over to our hot water heater. We're going to carefully lift up on this pressure release valve. That's going to dump hot water out of here. Once that's done, close that handle, otherwise your door won't close, and then pull your drain plug. Again, being careful, you're dealing with hot water around here. Once them are all done draining, go ahead and put your caps back on your low point drain. If your gray tank's done draining, go ahead and close that handle. Again, that's going to be cleaner water as your sinks, your showers. That'll clean your sewage hose out for you. Close that up, and you can conveniently and sanitarily store your sewage hose right here in your bumper. Again, we thank you guys so much for your purchase. We hope you enjoy this Catalina for many years to come. Happy camping.